End of day.
Good afternoon. It is a beautiful day. Hey, could everyone silence their cell phones, please, before we start? Yay. Won't be mine. Well, first of all, thanks for everyone to be here. Appreciate coming out with the weather. The runners ran through a little more than a day bridge out there northeast of Indy. They are troopers and did a great job. So with that, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know that's going to surprise many of you, but I got many other speakers to do this. So if you would, I'm going to have a prayer. So if everybody could rise. David Hess, U.S. Army veteran, chaplain to Indiana Veterans Home. Please stand when we're done, as we will go ahead and present some colors and go from there.
Would you pray with me? Lord, you are the giver of life and the giver of liberty. And we thank you for those great gifts. We thank you for all the people who are here today, patriots, remembering, honoring. Lord, we thank you because we know that our freedom is not free and that great price has been paid and is paid for our freedom. So today, may we honor and remember all of our brothers and sisters who have given their lives so that we can live ours, who paid the price for our freedom. When we see the flag, when we see the sky, when we remember them, Lord, we don't always cry. Sometimes we smile. We say thank you. May our nation learn, and may we teach them. In the name of the Lord we pray. Amen.
Thank you, David. Our commander, you present, please.
Guard, attention, hut. Order, round. Forward, march. Well, right, left. Right, left. Color guard, halt. Detail, face. Detail, post. Left. Detail, halt. At this time, please join us as Vince Hughes, a Marine veteran, leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the singing of the national anthem. As well, we invite all veterans to render a full hand salute during the singing of our national anthem. Raise him. Arms.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order, arms. Rifle team, raise them, arms. Post. The colors. Say the colors. Two. 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 Release. Two. Raise them. Arms. Order. Arms. Two. Order. Arms. Port. Arms. Detail. Base. Forward. March. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Two. Left. 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 Right. Left. Left. Left.
May be seated. First of all, actually, to tell you who that was, that's actually the Indy Metropolitan Military Honor Guard. We present Honor Guard team, and I would like to actually give them a big ovation for two things. First of all, for all they do. And the second, since we had somebody that wasn't able to fill this as we'd requested at the last moment, they just got this assignment yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock. So that's a tremendous out that they would be able to come here and to be able to present and post the colors for. So thank you, sir, very much. Appreciate that. With that, I mean, we still have some good stuff here. Matt Hall's not here, is he? What I'd like to do at this point, I'm going to have Colonel Jeff Hackett speak to you from the Indiana Army National Guard. He graduated Western Kentucky University in '94, earning a commission in the infantry. Spent the past 24 years serving in various infantry leadership and staff positions. After basic, and he began his career as a rifle and mortar platoon leader, Battalion Adjutant, 2nd Battalion, 5th Infantry. Since he left active duty in 2000, Colonel Hackett served as the Assistant Professor of Military Science at the Western Kentucky University, joined the Indiana Army National Guard in 2002, served as commander for A Company, 1st Battalion, 151st Infantry Regiment out of New Albany, and in Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom. What a resume here. So with that, Colonel Hackett, if you would, please.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. America's Run for the Fallen. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak for a few minutes here at the Indiana War Memorial. Today we honor these service members and their families, all of who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Today, most of us here know personally, or through family and friends, a hero that has made that sacrifice. These soldiers, sailors, airmen and Marines and Coast Guardmen did not sign up hoping or even expecting to give their life for their values, their country, or for their freedom. But once committed, they gave everything they had to their fellow warriors, their mission, and the United States of America. Whether it was in Iraq or Afghanistan, Yemen, or the many ports and calls of places in between, they completed their mission no matter the odds, no matter the circumstances, and no matter the cost. Regardless of their branch of service or their military specialty, they fought warriors to the end. If you know the dedication and commitment it takes to be prepared to make this ultimate sacrifice, those of us here do. It takes courage, dedication to self and a greater cause, to sacrifice everything to complete the mission. America's Run for the Fallen, in its 10th year, or its 10th anniversary, will honor thousands of warriors over these 120 days from sea to shining sea, across America's heartland, concluding on the hallowed grounds of our nation's Arlington National Cemetery. For the runners and staff fortunate enough to be there at the end, I hope you take the time to pause and to remember not just these warriors and their families, but all those who through the many years have paid the ultimate price for the United States of America. My heartfelt thank goes out to each and every runner, support person, and staff. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Closer to home, I want to also remember the 27 warriors and their families from the Indiana National Guard who have made the ultimate sacrifice since 2000. You are never far from us until we meet again. Last, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the surviving families represented here today. Thank you for your sacrifice and your courage. We can never ease your pain, but we will never forget your sons and daughters, fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, and friends, and the sacrifices that you all have made to this great nation. Thank you for your time, and God bless America.
Thank you, Colonel Hackett. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. We'll have the bulk of this. That's you, George. It's all yours. In his vision, started 2.5 years ago, that is winding its way down, and having just finished the 81st day of the 121. Kristen? And he'll have all that. So with that, let me introduce the founder and executive director of Honor and Remember and America's Run for the Fallen, Mr. George Lutz.
Don usually gives me an hour and a half, so that's okay. What an amazing welcome it is to come into Indianapolis. We've had the pleasure of being a part of the Indiana Run for the Fallen for the past 3 years, and this is our ending point every year as we come into the city, and it's just heartwarming to be able to have those that are greeting us there as we come in, and especially today on this 81st day of America's Run for the Fallen. 10 years ago, in 2008, the Honor and Remember organization was established. It was established really as a necessity to bring public remembrance to our nation. What I found that at that time, I lost my son a few years before that, was that on a search to find how the public remembers, there was really very little out there when it came to our fallen military. We were doing a great job with our veterans and our active duty and those that were wounded and needed our care, but when it came to those that were fallen, we kind of relegated everything to Memorial Day. And then I realized that most people in America don't know why Memorial Day exists. And so Honor and Remember was established to really bring awareness to the public, to bring awareness that it is important to remember those that gave their lives, right? These men and women who didn't get to come home, didn't get to have families, didn't get to have careers, need to be remembered. And not only them, but the families that are still here grieving every single day, hoping and wishing that somebody would care to remember. And that is why the Honor Remember flag was established, to be that public national symbol, not for the families, but as a gift to the families, so that all of America could say thank you. And one of the ways we remember, all of us, whether it's our own loved ones or these loved ones, is by saying their names out loud. And we thought, why not collect every service member's name who has given his life in the last 18 years. We started with the War on Terror, and we modeled this after a run that was created 10 years ago, actually, 2 weeks within our own. The very first Run for the Fallen was organized and ran actually 2 weeks after our organization formed, and we realized what an amazing model that was. So here we are 10 years later, and we thought, what better way of remembering than to take every name that we could compile and call them out loud across America, and maybe bring some awareness to the fact that these men and women are important enough to be able to call their name out loud and have those, whether they're with us or they're listening to us, hear those names that gave all. And so we compiled a list as best we could, working with the Department of Defense and with other organizations, to put a list together of every service member who died since October 12, 2000 with the USS Cole. Forward to today, actually, and tomorrow, yesterday, I received another list of 37 casualties that we'll be adding to the end of our run. But we compiled a list of all those who died while serving or as a result of serving, because we even included those that had succumbed to those hidden wounds of post-traumatic stress. So we literally have the largest database of fallen service members, American fallen service members probably in the world. And we took those names and we organized them by their dates of death, because it was a manageable and relational number to them. And what we found was those 20,000 fell into a category of about 6,000 unique dates of death. And so this is what our mission became, to run a mile for every single date of death that has happened since that time period. And that mission has led us to this point right here. 81 days later, 3,685 dates of death to this moment. We just read 83, out there in the courtyard. And so for the last 2 months, this is our 81st day, for the last 2.5 months, we have been honoring heroes every single mile or marker, depending on, it's the marker that's the date of death, through 12 states. We're going through 19 states, ending in Arlington Cemetery on August the 5th. Everyone is invited. At 2 o'clock, we're going to have a closing ceremony. But up to this point, right here, out in that courtyard, today we ran for 135 service members. Today was a short day. 135 service members, over 33 dates of death. That was today. But collectively, we have run for 15,194 to that moment out in that courtyard. 15,194 men and women we have called out loud over the last 81 days. Now, our total right now is, we're right at 20,000. But as I mentioned, yesterday I received another group of casualties, and we still have 40 more days to go. And when we reach Arlington Cemetery, at the last moment, when we call out names, we hope to call out the very last service member who gave their life up to that moment. This is why we're calling this the most comprehensive fallen veteran tribute ever compiled, ever tried to be executed. And we say that because we have allowed those that, even if you go to our website and you see and you look for your loved one's name or any loved one's name and you can't find them, you can add them. So we've been adding and adding and adding, unfortunately. But we want to make sure that none are forgotten. And so this mission has taken us to this moment right here, right now, this historic moment, because I don't see it happening again in my lifetime. And so those of you that came out to brave the elements and actually stick it out and be here, I hope that this is an important moment for you. I hope that this is something that you'll take away from and go, I was here when they crisscrossed the country and called out every service member who has given their life in the last 18 years. And I have a core team with me, and that core team has been traveling the entire time and will be traveling to Arlington. Those on the core team, would you please raise your hand so we can acknowledge you? They're very shy. I know they don't want to be acknowledged. And then we have those that jump in and join us for a day or 2 days or longer. And they've been out today running in the rain. I can't tell you the hundreds of people that have run with us across these 12 states. I mean, they're not here to be honored. But those who in this room that did run today or have been with me in this team, please raise your hand so we can honor you. Look around. Thank you. They got really wet today. And so we thank you for being a part of that. I know John's hiding in the back, but I'm going to call him out anyway. Can't do this without being emotional. My dear friend, I call him my adopted son now, actually John Bologna, is the one who organized the very first Run for the Fallen 10 years ago and started this whole thing. And I'm grateful to be able to pull up the mantle of this and continue it. But John, would you acknowledge yourself back there? One of the most important things that we do at the end of every day of markers is we gather together as a group, whether we're by ourselves or whether this is probably one of the most beautiful places we've stopped in, isn't it? What a great venue to honor our fallen today. But we like to reread the names of those that we ran for that day, because out there on the highway, with all of the road noise, with the vehicles and the semis and all of the rain today, a lot of the names don't get heard. We have a live feed. I don't know if everyone knows about that, but you could actually watch us live. You can't always hear us, unfortunately, but you can watch us live all day long as we have a signal. But often those names are not heard because we're far away from the microphone and all the road noise that I mentioned. And so what we like to do in the quietness of a reverent moment, and with those that are with us, we like to reread those names because we know they're being heard And we know that those of you who are with us are able to stand for the families who are not. So I'm going to ask my runners, whoever wants to volunteer, to come up and read. I have the list up here. We're going to reread those names of those that we honored today.
The dates that we ran for today were June 20th through July 15th, 2011. Sergeant Tia Nicole Napoli, United States Army. Private First Class Marion Anthony Fields, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Michael George Geisler, United States Army. Sergeant Cole Leslie Chambers, United States Army. Captain Michael Ray Newton, United States Air Force. Sergeant George Joseph Hammer III, United States Army. Sergeant Diane K. Daughtery, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Robert Francis Solgi, United States Army. Lance Corporal Jason D. Hill, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer 3rd Class Jeremiah R. Millard, United States Navy. Specialist Matthew James Lawsonheiser, United States Army. Private First Class Andrew Matthias Wagner, United States Army. Sergeant Brian Dwayne Beard, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Brenda Lorraine Rosenberry, United States Army. Specialist Brian Willard Steed, United States Army. Master Sergeant Christopher Michael Osby, United States Air Force. Lance Corporal Joshua B. McDaniels, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Sean Michael Nicholas O'Connor, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Glenn M. Sewell, United States Army. Sergeant Nicholas P. Ballard, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Kevin Patrick Henning, United States Army. Private First Class Eric D. Sufrin, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Jeremy A. Katzenberger, United States Army. Private Ryan J. Larson, United States Army. Sergeant James Anthony Moreno, United States Army. Specialist Marcos Armando Cintrone, United States Army. Sergeant Mark Daniel Ackerman, United States Army. Sergeant Mark A. Bradley, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Cedric Rayon Shepard, United States Army. Second Lieutenant Ross Allen Macnich, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Alan L. Snyder, United States Army.
Sergeant Edward F. Dixon III, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Alvin A. Boatwright, United States Army. Specialist Tyler R. Cranes, United States Army. Private First Class Brian J. Backus, United States Army. Command Master Sergeant Lee Granger Matisse III, United States Air Force. Private First Class Josu Ibarra, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Jared Michael Rock, United States Army. Private First Class Joshua L. Jetton, United States Army. Sergeant James W. Harvey II, United States Army. Private First Class Gustavo A. Rios Ordonez, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Gilvanta Henderson, United States Army. Private First Class Timothy John Hansley, United States Army. Lance Corporal Jarrett C. Verbeek, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Levi E. Nuncio, United States Army. Major Jennifer Louise Gale, United States Air Force. Corporal Gurpreet Singh, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Nicholas C. D. Hensley, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Jamal T. Clay, United States Army. Specialist Nicholas P. Bernier, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Jason Raymond Sargent, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Nigel D. Kelly, United States Army. First Lieutenant Dimitri A. Del Castillo, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Robert Stephen Martin O'Neill, United States Air Force. Sergeant Marlon E. Murray, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Matthew R. Gallagher, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Russell J. Proctor, United States Army. Private First Class Dylan Jeffrey Johnson, United States Army. Specialist Kevin J. Hilleman, United States Army. Tech Sergeant Daniel L. Duval, United States Air Force. Gunnery Sergeant Ralph E. Pate Jr., United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Jerome Curtis Owens, United States Army.
Airman First Class Tyler J. Patton, U.S. Air Force. Sergeant Robert William Briggs, United States Army Reserve National Guard. Staff Sergeant Donald V. Stacy, United States Army. Captain Eric Lane Ziegler, United States Air Force. Lance Corporal John F. Ferris, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Mark R. Goyet, United States Marine Corps. Specialist James A. Keenan, United States Army National Guard. Sergeant William Michael Maroon, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Antonio Joseph P. Morgiani, United States Army. Sergeant Major Terrence William Smith, United States Army. Sergeant Robert G. Tenney Jr., United States Army. Captain Matthew G. Nielsen, United States Army. Captain David E. Van Camp, United States Army. Sergeant Eric A. Osborne, United States Marine Corps. Major Jason Brent Blake, United States Army. Airman Megan Joanne Victory, United States Air Force. Sergeant Chad D. Frajorker, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Kyle R. Schneider, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant First Class George Nipper III, United States Army. Private First Class James A. Walters, United States Army. Lance Corporal Benjamin Nelson Brigham, United States Marine Corps. Petty Officer 3, Grant Mitchell Roulette, United States Navy. Private Van DeJohn Davis, United States Army. Specialist Nathan Clyde Dixon III, United States Army. Sergeant Michael Jonathan Garcia, United States Army. Major Sean William Ashton, United States Army. Senior Airman Kyle Justice Schnuck, United States Air Force. Chief Petty Officer Joseph Anthony Wessler, United States Navy. Specialist Joshua Dirk Higgins, United States Army. Sergeant Nicole Emperor IV, United States Army. Specialist Jordan Christopher Schuman, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Joshua A. Thornton, United States Army. Specialist Preston J. Sauter, United States Army.
Private First Class Charles Adam Betzer, United States Army. Major Cheryl Renee Etsy, United States Air Force. Corporal David Andrew Guiney, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Trevor Thomas Cook, United States Marine Corps. Sergeant Ian M. McConnell, United States Marine Corps. Chief Warrant Officer 2, Howard June Cook III, United States Army. Specialist Mark Anthony Murray, United States Army. Specialist Nathan R. Byers, United States Army National Guard. Specialist Nicole W. Newby, United States Army National Guard. Staff Sergeant Dudley Thomas Joseph Dodd, United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Jensen James Huang, United States Navy. Staff Sergeant James Thomas Hackmer, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 4, Daniel Earl Cole, United States Army. Specialist Christopher Scott Brockway, United States Army. Sergeant Christopher P. Soderland, United States Army. Sergeant Paul H. Porzenko, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Terrell L. Pasker, United States Army National Guard. Petty Officer 3, William Daniel Mirabal, United States Navy. Petty Officer Ernest Lee King, United States Navy. Staff Sergeant Francis T. Campion III, United States Army. Sergeant Stephen L. Talamantes, United States Army. Specialist Rafael A. Nueves Jr., United States Army. Lance Corporal Hernandez Navarrete Mendez, United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Jimmy Infinger, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Tyler Michael Martin, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Jonathan Howard Monzingo, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Troy Dale Bargo, United States Army. Sergeant Charles Leslie Simons IV, United States Army. Major Jeremy James Graxick, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Christopher Labino Camaro, United States Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Robert S. Ringer, United States Marine Corps.
Seaman Aaron D. Olam, United States Navy. Sergeant Jeremy R. Summers, United States Army. Chief Warrant Officer 3, James Michael Butler, United States Army. Sergeant Lex L. Lewis, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Wyatt Andrew Goldsmith, United States Army. Specialist Daniel L. Elliott, United States Army. Master Sergeant Daryl Peter Labrie, United States Air Force.
135 names over 33 hero markers. Thank you. Just briefly, one of the things that we like to do to make this moment of honor comprehensive is to allow anyone who's with us when we read these names to call out loud any name in their heart. Somebody they know, a relative, could be a family member or not, someone they served with, a comrade. This isn't a moment to be shy, but you've probably heard the expression that people can die 2 deaths, a physical death, and then the last time someone calls their name is when they're truly, truly forgotten. So I would like to just informally, anyone who would like to call out the name of someone who served and died, please do that now before we close this portion. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Lieutenant Michael Joseph Cleary, December 20, 2005.
Anyone else?
High school classmate Bob Beach, Vietnam.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Sergeant Evan Lehman here, November 30th, 2008.
Thank you.
Lance Corporal John F. Marias, his mother. 6/28/11. Corporal Matthew Winkler, USMC, September 16, 2016.
Corporal Aaron Lynn Almendinger, 9/11.
Staff Sergeant Zachary Waldler. I don't know the date.
Sorry. Thank you. Anyone else? We could just take a moment of silence to reflect on those names that were just read, those that were just spoken, and those that are still inside. Amen. I mentioned that we are not just running for the fallen, because the fallen aren't with us, but in remembrance of their families and recognition that we haven't not forgotten. And I hope everyone knows what a Gold Star family is. There's many definitions out there in the universe. Our definition as an organization while serving, irregardless of circumstance, or as a result of serving, irregardless of circumstance. This is what we embrace to be a Gold Star family. Whether you have this pin or that pin, it makes no difference. So I would like to recognize the Gold Star families in this auditorium. Would like for you to stand up. so that we might honor you and recognize you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that this run does do you proud as we continue to honor all those across America, all the way to our nation's capital. One of the most important things we can do is remember in our nation as a public symbol of thanks, but it's more than just getting the flag flying. It's now been adopted officially in 23 states by legislation to be an official state symbol. Indiana is one of them. Thanks to Don and his crew. But one of the most important things we can do, as we're doing mile after mile, is to recognize by name, right? This is the importance of what we do. It's not just saying, oh, 20,000 heroes died for our country, we're gonna run for them. No, we're actually identifying them because it's important. And so calling out names individually is very important to us, and recognizing individually is very important to us. And we have an opportunity today to honor two families specifically with honor and remember flags. And I'm going to call someone up here in a second, but before I do that, I'm going to explain what I'm holding. What I'm holding is a hand-sewn honor and remember flag, handmade specifically for a particular family. And it's folded in a triangle like this because it mirrors the American flag that was taken off the casket, folded reverently and respectfully, and encased in a shadow box forever as kind of a gift from a grateful nation, but as a reminder of the loss of that individual. But the honor and remember flag is folded like this one time to mirror that American flag in reverence. But once it is unfolded, it is meant to be a celebration of their life and the happy memories, and to be a symbol of appreciation for all that they have given us. So I'm going to ask a dear friend of mine, Kathy Mahoney, who I've known for many years now. She is on our national board. One of her accolades, she has many, but she flew here from Norfolk, Virginia, where she is the president of a company called MDV, which does all of the grocery, thank you, that word, distribution around the world to all the military bases and many of the military sites all around the world. And she's come out here to help assist with these two special flag presentations, of which the parent company, Spartan Nash, has sponsored over 250 flags this year alone. So we're just really proud to be partnered with her organization and with her as well. So I'm going to give it to Kathy.
Thank you, and I'm going to put this in because I've got some reading to do. So first, so thank you for having me here. I actually come with 4 hats. First is I'm the Chief Legal Officer of Spartan Nash Company. We're a Fortune 500 company food distributor with a local presence. You might all be familiar with Kaido Foods as well as BRT, a logistics company. In fact, the president of BRT is with us here today, along with a fair number of our associates who are coming here to be part of it. And I'm proud to be affiliated with a Fortune 500 company that has as one of our core values patriotism. As George mentioned, I'm also the president of MD, which is our military distribution business that helps bring a taste of home to our service people and veterans when they go shop at commissaries and exchanges. My third hat is I'm on the Spartan Nash Foundation and Board of Directors. And through that foundation, we're able to support Honor and Remember, which is a nonprofit that's really very important to us. So another connection here today. And then as George mentioned, my fourth hat is I have the privilege of being on the board of Honor and Remember. To do what little part we can do as a company and I can do as a person to make sure that those who made the ultimate sacrifice and their families know how important that sacrifice is and how much we thank them for it. And so I have the privilege now of being part of some flag presentations. And with that, I would ask the family of John Farias to please come up. Like many Marines, Lance Corporal John Farias was an all-American boy. The San Antonio native and 2009 Canyon High School graduate was a devout Christian and an Eagle Scout. He was into powerlifting and started at defensive end in football for the Canyon Cougars, a red and white number 33 jersey. He was a happy, warm-hearted young man who, as a job, worked for the city of New Braunfels as a lifeguard on the river. He joined the Marines three months after graduating high school on a family legacy of military service. Assigned to 1st Battalion, 5th Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division, 1 Marine Expeditionary Force in Camp Pendleton, California, Lance Corporal Farias deployed in March. He paid the ultimate price on June 28 while conducting combat operations in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. He was 20 years old. So while the flag is being presented, let me read the certificate that will be given to, in memory of Serviceman Farias. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember their selfless sacrifice. By displaying this symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say, thank you. May this small token of our appreciation forever remind you that your loved ones are not forgotten, and will live on in your hearts and through events such as Run the Wall.
Would you please acknowledge his family?
Will the family of Matt Winkler please come up? A Marine veteran who served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Corporal Matthew Winkler was assigned to the 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines out of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. After returning from combat, he was a member of St. John Church and the Latonia American Legion Post. In 2016, he ran for mayor of Covington, Kentucky, as a way to continue to serve his community. On September 16, 2016, Corporal Winkler lost his battle with PTSD. He was 27 years old. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember their selfless sacrifice. By displaying this symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say, thank you. May this small token of appreciation forever remind you that your loved ones are not forgotten and will live on in your hearts and through events such as Run for the Fallen. Thank you for your sacrifice.
You acknowledge this family.
Goes on, Vinny. With that, there's over 3,000 of these honor and remember personalized flags that have been presented across this country. We've done 160 of them, but you know what, I'm gonna probably count these. It came out of Indiana, sponsored by Spartan Nash, who has associates right here with us. So more important about the number is what it represents. Each represents a story, as Kathy was reading. Becomes a real person, doesn't become a statistic. Becomes a name, becomes a neighbor, friend, possible relative, co-worker. All these are over 40,000 Hoosiers since the Civil War have given their lives. 1,534 just from Vietnam here in this great state. And I want to thank Meredith from Spartan Nash and all her associates, which were, and please would all these Spartan Nash please rise and acknowledge. Hey, come on, my game, my show. Well, to be honest with you, we were just going to be done for the day and go home. Eat and just go home. And if it wasn't for Spartan Nash egging me on, that I probably wouldn't have done this in that sense. But it really has turned out well. And I personally thank you for all the organization, all the structure and putting in place. There's no way we were going to be able to do that, we being me, at that point in time. So I personally appreciate Meredith for everything that Spartan Nash has done and the huge outpouring of these flags across this great country. So with that, I believe there are some snacks out in the hallway. Used to be outside, and then they quickly remained flexible, moved the tables and everything in there. So if everybody would care to go to the foyer and have a little socializing. Just as a reminder, this building is really closed today. So we thank the War Memorial Commission for allowing us to come in here because it was getting wet out there again. And I melt. And there's something I want to do. Bill and Bob, would you guys stand up, please? Yes, that'd be you two. I want to recognize these gentlemen. Not that because we've had a lot of motorcycle guys since they entered in Indiana. But today, so I stopped at we were just stopped out there. And I said, so Bill, where did you guys put up in that hard rain? He said, we drove in it. So with that, I would appreciate some appreciation for them folks. Because I don't think I'd have done it, Bill. But I'm a wuss. So, okay, with that, let's close. And thanks for everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all you do. And remember all those that gave their tomorrows so that we're able to enjoy our beautiful todays. God bless. Thank you.
Mind closing it out? You mind closing it out? Saying goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. All right, we're done for today. It was a shorter day. We haven't really had any of those. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again at 7 tomorrow, Eastern Time.